Graham Podcast.
Brought to you by the Honda New Rider Programme.
Hello and welcome to episode 8 of the Leona Graham Podcast, sponsored by Honda Motorcycles and the Honda School of Motorcycling, helping you to get on two wheels by spreading the cost of your motorcycle, training, test and safety equipment. Speak to your local Honda dealer for more information. Coming up on today's episode, I'll be speaking to Ali Wheeler, the lead singer of The Beautiful South and one of the originals from the band, currently touring as The South. We'll be talking about the group's new music plans, the time Brandon Flowers of The Killers confessed to his obsession with the band, and their memorable appearance on Top of the Pops when the BBC forgot to invite an audience. You'll also get the chance to win tickets to see Ali and The South live on their upcoming UK tour, and we'll hear from my friend and journalist Anna Geary. She's back to talk to me about how her dad swindled her into buying him a very expensive Father's Day gift this year. In music news with music-news.com, Muse appear to be teasing a new song called Unravelling with clues on their socials. But I can tell you for definite there is a new song coming out in about a week's time. And I know this because I'm now friends with Chris from Muse and catch up on my chat with him on a previous episode of this podcast. Also in Aussie news, concerns are growing over Ozzy's health. The guitarist Tony Iommi has said this would be a big monumental thing if it all comes good. The worrying thing for me is the unknown. He's talking about the massive final show, which is taking place in July in Birmingham. He said, "You're used to Ozzy running around, but he certainly won't be doing that for this show. I don't know if he's going to be standing or sitting on a throne or what." On a throne would be amazing, in my opinion. Put Ozzy on a throne, that's the answer. Well, one band who are definitely going on tour are The Beautiful South.
A-side.
Please welcome to the podcast, Ali Wheeler. Hi, how are you?
I'm really well, how are you?
Yes, good, thank you. You're best known for being the third and final female singer in The Beautiful South, of course, but you had a pretty established singing career before that. Can you talk us through what you were up to before joining the band?
I left university in 97, came to London, gave myself 3 years to try and make it in the music industry, and I think 5 years on I was still trying, and I was just like, well, I know what I want to do, why would I stop pursuing that goal? So kept on trying, temping to pay the rent at record companies, which was fascinating because I got to see the other side of the coin and see kind of back in the day when people bought CDs, that kind of the whole process of sales and stuff. But I did many projects. I was in a Crosby, Stills and Nash trio called Virginia, which we've still got albums due to come out soon. I was in a gospel choir called Citizen K, and that was the door. That was the beginning of meeting Dave Hemingway. We were going as a choir for a number of years, and 3 of us got asked to do a session for Dave Hemingway for his solo album. And at that point, he took me to one side and said, "I think your voice would really suit the band. Would you like me to recommend you?" So, as you can imagine, it's a nanosecond to go, hello, yeah, yes please. And then I didn't hear anything for 6 months, so I just thought it was dead in the water. But I now realise just things take time, and I was about to chuck it in the towel, and I'd been on holiday, and so that would have been, I was just turned 30, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's time to concentrate on a career. And I came home from a holiday with an annotated handwritten letter from Paul saying, I know that you can sing. I actually completely trust Dave Hemingway's judgment on that, but come and meet the band. And we took it from there, really.
And what was it like when you first met the band?
I think having worked in the record industry for a number of years, that helped remove that fear of meeting a celebrity or meeting a famous person. So I had the joy of working with Pink and Christina Aguilera, and Simon Cowell was in the same department as me, so we worked on Pop Idol, and Will Young came into the office. So it's all these opportunities to meet these people, which were, without this opportunity, it would have been like, oh my God, you're famous.
Did you meet Simon Cowell, did you say?
Yeah, I worked with him.
What was he like?
He's driven. There's no line between work and play. He just breathes music all the time. So yeah, fascinating. Really, really fascinating to work with. And he really was, like, at the time, like don't tell anybody, because he is nice. He really is nice, and he's very passionate and very driven. But I think at the time, back in the 90s, it was like it paid to be the baddie on telly. So he was like, yeah, don't tell everybody, I'm actually quite nice. I was like, okay.
What and who inspired you to start a career, and who inspires you most now?
I've kind of been surrounded by entertainment all my life. My dad was an agent. If you think working men's clubs, that was his bread and butter. So he used to hand draw all of his posters himself, and I would go with him to the working men's clubs, and I'd see the magicians and the singers, the duos, the trios. So it was always a big part of my life. Even tried to audition for Opportunity Knocks back in the day, but my parents made me call them up and cancel.
What? Why did they do that?
My dad said, you have a perception that entertainment is a bed full of roses. He says, but I can tell you there's lots of thorns. I was like, I know, but at least let me discover that myself. I was young, granted. But my dad was a singer as well. My mum was a groupie. So he was in a band called the Mavericks, and he was the lead singer. But yeah, always loved musicals, loved theatre, and Barbara Streisand was a massive influence on me. I love her voice, and still do. And so I would always go for big voices, you name it, any big voice, whether it's, I'm very passionate about jazz, whether it's kind of Julie London or Billie Holiday, or yeah, big voices, all the way through to icons like Madonna, because of her capacity to maintain herself in the kind of contemporary vein that she's constantly changing. I love that. And you can't ignore Beyonce and the people like that with their huge voices, Celine Dion's, you name it.
So coming back to the beautiful South, so you had this opportunity and you met them, and then what was it like the first time you sang with them?
The first gig we did was relatively small, low key, and it was in, it couldn't have been a better baptism. It was in Hull, which is obviously like the birthplace of the whole band. And that was really, really special. And they were big boots to fill, both Brianna and Jackie. They are amazing vocalists, and they've carried these iconic songs. So to sing all of these songs which people associate with them was a challenge and a worry. But everybody was so receptive, and it's testimony to the songs, really, just how great they are, that over the years I've always received an amazing reception for their evergreen songs now. They don't seem to age, and the people, you can see the elation in the room as soon as the opening chords of Rotterdam Star or Perfect 10, because yeah, people have been amazingly supportive. And I've only forgot the words really badly once. That was in Manchester. I think that was I don't think it was the arena tour, but anyway, Rotterdam just left my mind.
What did you do?
I did the cliche, hand the mic to the audience. So they started singing back at me, and I was like, oh yeah.
Is that why they do that?
Yeah.
Is this a trade secret?
Maybe. Well, it was for me on that day. Yeah, I don't know where it went. There was absolutely no rhyme or reason. They were very much instilled in me by that point. But sometimes you can just, and I still do, sometimes I'm in the moment and I'm enjoying myself so much, and I'm enjoying the audience so much that the whole band's looking at me like, you should be singing now.
It's your turn.
I was like, oh, sorry, I was having a good time.
B-side.
How do you find touring now compared to when you were touring with them back in the early noughties?
The pressure's off. We're celebrating this wonderful back catalogue of music. I find it hard to vocalise, but yeah, I just remember manically in pursuit of something when I was in my 20s and 30s, and whether or not I could quantify it into anything tangible, I don't know, but you've always feel you've got to be better in yourself, whereas at the moment we're in this lovely period, and maybe it's facing up to the facts that we are getting older, but yeah, it is what it is, and we absolutely love what we're doing, and I think if I was 26 doing this, I probably wouldn't appreciate it as much.
But the audience have grown up with the band, but I presume, are there younger people at the audience? Is it reaching a new generation?
Very much so. We've had 4 generations, I think, in the audience once at festivals. Yes, it's sometimes it beggars belief when you've got a 16-year-old coming up to you and they're saying, oh my God, it's the best gig I've ever been to. I know all the songs. I'm like looking at them like, you're 16. But then you've got to thank the parents, because they've obviously been playing them constantly in the car or back at home. And then when you do a festival, whether it's a nostalgia one like Rewind or some of these more mixed, like Camper Calling, you get people who turn up just by chance to see what the band is about, and then they'll come or reach out and come and contact you afterwards and just say, wow, that was amazing. I've now gone back and I've listened to all the back catalogue, and they're a massive fan now. So that's lovely to be able to reach new ears.
Yeah.
So we do get young people who have no connection via extended family, who've just come across the band by accident, and yeah, it's amazing. And yeah, again, I hark back to Paul and Dave Rothery's writing. They just connect. People really connect with the lyrics. Yeah.
And do you have any standout moments from being with the band for over 20 years?
Too many, yeah. I think when you're aspiring to achieve anything, you've got a list of things you want to mark off, to tick off in your list, and Top of the Pops was definitely one of them. I think we were lucky to get in there because it was cusping on finishing. But it bittersweet. It was. I'd worked at Top of the Pops many times when I worked at BMG and taken artists to perform, so that element of fear wasn't there because I'd been there plenty of time. But to actually be on it was really special. However, there'd been a administrative mess up, and the free tickets that would normally go out, nobody had been invited. They hadn't invited a soul.
Oh no.
And there's a cap on the age of the people who are allowed to watch Top of the Pops. You've got to be under 26. And as they'd not sent out any invites, they thought, let's just send a round robin to the entire BBC building and say, we're lifting the age cap. If you want to come and watch Top of the Pops being recorded, you can come. There's no problem. However, it was hilarious because it looked like all of HR and accounts had suddenly gone, yeah, let's go. So they were all like white shirt and ties and all kind of rocking out. But it was really, really strange. We did Tea in the Park when it used to exist, and that was paired with Oxygen in Ireland. And it was the burgeoning years for the Killers. They were really early on in their career, and their first album had just come out. And so excited to be on the lineup with them. And we were all kind of singing their praises, saying how much we liked him. Anyway, it turns out he's a massive Beautiful South fan. So Brandon comes up to Paul and he names his favourite track as Glockenspiel, which is a real kind of, you've got to know your Beautiful South
fan
songs.
favourite.
It was never a single. It was just on the albums tucked away. And he watched the entire set from the side of the stage. And then afterwards he came up to us, and it wasn't a very deluxe backstage. We all had curtained off areas in this huge kind of conference room. And he came into our curtained off area and just said how amazing it was, how much he enjoyed it. Shook my hand and said, you've got a gorgeous voice. And I kind of just went, couldn't talk, fell into his eyes. And then when he left, even though everybody was straight in the band, they all went, yeah, we'd sleep with him. All of them. They were completely knocked over by how wonderful and just made you feel really special when he was talking to you.
What's next musically for both you and the band?
So we'll be touring. When COVID struck, I started writing again. I kind of lost my nerve when I was in the 90s. A single person told me that my writing was twee, and you shouldn't take it to heart. I think now as you get older, you get kind of battle axe about things. You're like, I don't care, it's one person's opinion. I kind of said to the band, I know it's really hard to get kind of agreement between everybody, but I'd really like to listen to this song and have a listen. I think it would really suit the band. I wrote it with the band in mind. We've done it in a few sound checks over the last few months, and hopefully by the end of the year, hopefully it'll be worked into the set as well.
And will that song be released?
We'd like to do that. People are calling out for a second album, although again getting 9 people collectively into one place to record is quite a challenge. So I think we'll do the old singles maybe, and then an EP. To get a whole album finished seems to be a bit of a challenge at the moment.
Bonus tracks.
First song you heard by the Beautiful South?
Song Forever. You can't fault it, it's got my name in it.
Perfect. First gig you ever went to?
Oh, now don't judge me. Well, do you want the cool version or the uncool version?
Or uncool, yeah.
They're both similar, and I don't know which was first, but they're definitely like their same period. Uncool, Fame, I love
Fame
Fame.
gig?
You know the TV show
Yeah,
Fame?
yeah.
I went to see them on tour.
Oh, wow.
But the cool one was Tina Turner. That was amazing. The
superb.
private dancer tour, that was amazing, yeah.
I actually think they're both good. First song you loved or hated?
First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, that's my favourite song. Roberta Flack's version. Oh, yeah. Simple, beautiful, can't be faulted, yeah.
First celebrity crush?
Morton Harkett. Morton Harkett. Who would not like Morton Harkett? He's still so cute.
If you weren't a singer and a musician, what would you have been doing as a career?
I did law and Japanese at university, so maybe I would have stayed in Japan, or maybe I might have gone on to be a barrister, who knows.
Favourite song to sing on tour?
Rotterdam, for sure. Although Don't Marry Her and Perfect Ten are quite good as well.
Okay. If you could have dinner with anybody, who, alive or not, who would it be?
Madonna. I just think she's amazing. She still is just up there for me.
I would choose her as well.
Yeah.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
Mastication. I can't stand it when people chew their mouth open.
Oh, is that the posh way of saying?
Can you say that on?
I've learned something new today. I didn't know it was called that.
Yeah.
Jazz or disco?
Jazz. Yeah. I've got a jazz project as well. I never told you about that. I've taken all the back catalogue of the Beautiful South and I've reworked them in a jazz style. Cool. So piano, jazz drums, guitar, 3 vocals, and taking like Song Forever's a bossa nova, Red Eyes, all of them in a jazz standard. Idea that people will come to the gig, they still want to hear the songs they know, but they want it in a laid back, quieter fashion. It's not like a blaring gig. So yeah,
cool.
Very busy with them as well.
Do you have any hidden talents or party tricks?
Last time I tried, I'm not going to do it now ever again. I used to be able to do the splits without warming up.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
You can't say that and then not do it.
Well, I used to do it regularly, and then I think about 5 years ago I didn't put my back out, so I've got maybe that's a wake-up call.
Yeah.
Just stop
so that's
doing
enough
it.
of that. Okay, it's now time for the dramatic reading. Imagine the lyrics to A Little Time, make up the script to a tragic play, and this is your character's big dramatic monologue as you realise you're doomed.
Right. Funny how quick the milk turns sour, isn't it? Isn't it? Your face has been looking like that for hours, hasn't it? Hasn't it? Promises, promises that turn to dust, and wedding bells just turn to rust, and trust into mistrust. I need a little room for myself. I need a little space to work it out. I need a little room all alone. You need a little room for your big head, don't you? Don't you? You need a little space for 1,000 beds, won't you? Won't you? Lips that promise for the worst, but tongues are so sharp that the bubble bursts. Just into unjust.
Amongst other one of your many other skills, yeah, add acting to that. Well, Ali, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
The Leona Graham Podcast.
Brought to you by Honda School of Motorcycling with the Honda New Rider Programme.
Competition time now, and you can win a pair of tickets to see Ali Wheeler and the South on their current UK tour. Just answer this multiple choice question. In the Beautiful South song, Song for Whoever, which of the following girls' names is mentioned in the lyrics? A. Hortensia, B. Veruca, or C. Alison? If you know the answer, then get in touch with me via my socials at Leona Graham DJ and send me your answer A, B or C. Entries close on Wednesday the 18th of June at midnight, and the winner will be informed by Friday the 20th of June 2025. Anna Geary made a big return to the podcast this week. I could really tell how hugely important it was for her to be back by the coffee-stained napkin she brought in with her notes on for the interview. Yeah, thanks, Anna. Hi, Anna. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Well, since we last did this, I've been to Copenhagen, which was amazing.
Is this the hot tub weekend?
It's the hot tub weekend, the infamous hot tub weekend. And my sister was running the Copenhagen Marathon, which was amazing, just the atmosphere. My dad also, whenever he goes to a marathon event, he has a tendency to just cheer on people he doesn't know, because you can see their names.
Oh, right, yeah.
So he was absolutely yelling. He'd lost his voice by the end of the day. How about you? What have you been up to?
Well, just to explain before we move on, the hot tub situation, in case somebody missed the breakfast show, is your boyfriend Mark came, and it's one of the first times he's met your family, right?
Yes.
And you thought you'd literally throw him in at the deep end and introduce him by saying, come and join us in the hot tub. Is that how it went down?
That's exactly how it went down.
Was it successful?
It did go well. He did really well. I mean, I didn't think at the time, what an ask it is, but that is quite an ask.
It is
a
an
new
ask.
partner, isn't it?
Is. And the next one is he's coming to one of my barbecues and meeting all of our mutual friends. So I wonder how he feels about that.
Probably nervous because he already knows you a bit, doesn't he?
Yes, I know him separately to you, weirdly, from years back.
Yeah. So he's already kind of knows you, but you've not seen each other in a decade or something.
At least.
I feel like you'll be seeing a different person.
Oh, I'm looking forward to meeting him again.
I hope you get on.
We will. Don't worry, Anna.
I'll be a disaster for this podcast.
Yes. So, Anna, I see you wrote some notes on a napkin for things to discuss today. I love the quality paperwork here. What's that all about?
Shall I show this to the cameras
Yes.
just in case? So, because before I came here, I just thought, right, I'm going to think of a few things I want to talk to you about. So I was in a shop buying a very overpriced cookie and a coffee. And I'm making
As most shops are in London these days.
on my napkin. Now I've got a few things for you, right?
Yeah.
Firstly, adventure travel. Apparently it's you don't need to go away to have a good time, which we know anyway. But the biggest thing, particularly in London right now, is stand-up paddleboarding.
Okay, I've done paddleboarding. I did it in Devon last year.
What did you think?
Yeah, it's quite relaxing. It's not too stressful. It's not like trying to surf or something because you're on the flat water.
Well, apparently over 1 million own a board in Britain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I have noticed when I go to Brighton, people keep turning up with these paddle boards and we're all really jealous. But we just tend to hire them. For the day, or an hour or two, because that's all you need, because it can get boring. Well, it's not exhilarating. It's more of a sort of chilled thing.
Apparently it's quite a big thing in London now. So I looked at where people were doing it, and they're doing it with Canary Wharf in the background.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I'm not sure I'd want to fall in the Thames, would you?
No, absolutely not. Disgusting. Yeah, go down to Brighton, for goodness sake. The other thing I wanted to say, Anna, we've got Father's Day coming up. Are you going to do anything in particular? Because we know your dad's quite a character on the Absolute Radio Breakfast Show. We've got to know him a little bit.
He is. They call him Papa G on there. Papa G, super cute. Well, funnily enough, with Father's Day, he has already got me to get him a gift, right?
He's already sorted it?
Well, I sorted it. We were at Copenhagen Airport, and we were just all on the way back, and he was saying, right, because he loves shopping, my dad. He said, can you just come and have a look at a few things with me? So off I traipse, leaving Mark and my mum sat having a leisurely coffee, go with my dad. And he's like, first he sees licorice covered in chocolate, which is a big Danish thing, which is apparently the trend. But he was like, oh yeah, I'll get some of this. Anyway, we go off and he gets some aftershave. And it was pricey, the one he liked, obviously.
Of course.
And we're walking, and he's like, what do you think? What do you think? I've been spending a lot in Copenhagen. I'm like, Dad, just treat yourself. Anyway, we get near the counter, and he goes, it's Father's Day coming up.
Oh, she said, it's Father's Day.
He says, might you like to get this for me, Anne? I mean, what can I say? I can't say no, that's really expensive, Dad. So, yeah.
So you've done it.
So I've done it. But it's just funny, isn't it, with parents? Because obviously all your life they're spending tons of money on you, and then you just hit the point at which you're an adult and it just flips the other
around.
way.
Yeah, it does. No, I still get my dad to pay for dinner when he comes up.
Do you?
Yeah.
I need to take a leaf out of your book, because my mum and dad are just good at getting me and my sister to pay it all.
Yeah, when the bill comes, I reached into my pocket, and my dad goes, "No, it's okay, I'll get it." So yeah, well trained. I trained him up. I mean, this is the father who I got him to buy me a bike when I was about 18, and then when I went off to uni, I sold it back to him. So he bought it twice.
That's brilliant. That is genius.
No.
Did he use it himself then?
No, it just went into storage. But I said, do you want to buy this bike off me? Yeah, I managed to talk him into it. I was really good at swindling him.
Why did he need it? If
He didn't.
He was going to have to store it.
Yeah, I know.
And give you the money.
Oh, I swindled him for years, especially when I was at uni, swindling money out of him. I was a dab hand at that.
The other thing is Glastonbury's coming up.
Oh,
Have you ever been?
I've never been to Glastonbury, amazingly.
Rod Stewart's playing, isn't he? I
Yeah.
mean, I just love Rod Stewart.
Of course you would. I've interviewed him.
Have you?
Yeah, he's really charming, actually. He's got some good charisma and he makes you feel very comfortable.
I can imagine that about him.
Yeah, really nice.
He does seem like that. You always see him filling in like potholes on his road in Essex.
Yeah, he's a down-to-earth guy as well. We like that about Rod.
I just think he's great. So yeah, if I was going, that's who I'd be most excited to see.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Well, me and you should go one year, Anna.
I am game.
Yeah. The other thing this weekend, Anna, it's the King's birthday.
Okay.
Also on the same day as National Gin Day.
Okay.
So will you be celebrating in any way?
Well, I used to drink gin, but now I don't because it makes me down.
Makes you down?
Yeah.
Imagine Anna down.
Well, I'm not unless I drink gin.
Okay. Oh my God, I just want to do this as an experiment because I've only ever seen you, happy.
Happy.
Yeah.
I'm like a pretty happy person, but no, gin. I used to be fine with it at uni,
But now
put it away
don't
like
touch
a
it.
fish.
That's it for episode 8 of the podcast. A big thank you to my guest, Ali Wheeler of the beautiful South. You'll be able to catch our interview in Vision on YouTube next week. You've been listening to the Leona Graham podcast with me, Leona Graham, produced by Emily Moulton, sponsored by Honda Motorcycles and the Honda School of Motorcycling, and brought to you by Whitney Wild One. See you next time.
The Leona Graham Podcast.
Brought to you by Honda School of Motorcycling, new rider programme, helping you get on 2 wheels by spreading the cost of your motorcycle, training, test and safety equipment. Speak to your local Honda dealer for more information.